was like, nah, Holy Spirit, come over here. Like, hey, it's your favorite friend Felicia. And listen, I am having technical difficulties over here. That strong wind came through and blew this phone over, y'all. But anyway, today I have a good topic for you guys. It's something that is near and dear to me as per usual, right? But today I want to talk to you guys about the things that I'm doing to overcome anxiety. So if you guys aren't familiar with me or the things that I've dealt with or just who I am, my name is Felicia. And here at Fueling Freedom, the thing that I do is basically share my life experience to help other people in transitions and be able to learn to utilize their life experiences as well. So in doing that, I share with you guys different things about me. So of course, everyone knows, and if you didn't know, I have been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder and major depressive disorder. So I struggle most of the time with depression or anxiety. And I had gotten to a point in my life where I was kind of comfortable with that. I was comfortable with how I was dealing with it. I was comfortable with where I had come in the journey, and that was kind of it. So then I hit a rough patch, and I hit a patch that I was like, nah, Holy Spirit, come over here. Like, come talk to me. I sat down with the Holy Spirit and I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to be like this anymore. Like, I have too many things and too many great ideas that I have, and this time that I spend in my bed not being able to get out of my bed, or not wanting to eat, or this amount of time that I'm putting my body through this trauma because of this mental stress, like, I don't have time for it. I got things to do, and the recovery is too long. Like, I can't continue this cycle. And that's when the Holy Spirit basically revealed to me, like, hey, you already have the tools. And that's when I came to realize, like, you know what? You're actually right. I'm in school getting my master's in clinical mental health counseling. So I actually start internship or practicum in January. And next year is my clinical year to get all my internship and stuff like that done. And then I will be, as long as I pass, the board certified or a licensed clinical mental health counselor. So with that being said, I'm learning all of these techniques. I'm learning how to teach other people how to deal with this same very thing that I'm dealing with. Use what it is that you have, girl. So with that being said, I wanted to share with y'all how many I got. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to share with y'all 4 of the things that I'm doing on a consistent basis to try to help myself get over anxiety, get over depression, and to be able to continue to just move past and be able to live the life that I want to live. So buckle up, get your popcorn, get your notepad. I'm going to try to help you out as best as I can, because these things genuinely do help me. Let's get into it. First things that I do is I implement coping skills specifically to be able to slow down my thoughts. For me, my mind will start racing, and then it'll just keep going and going and going, and then next thing I know, there's no way that I can stop it. So what I had to learn how to do was be able to interrupt my thoughts and then be able to slow my thought process down so I could look at things bit by bit and piece by piece. So of course I have my notes here to try to be able to share with you guys some of those things. So some of the techniques that I use to try to interrupt those thoughts is I've had to learn how to have an internal conflict with myself. I've had to learn how to be okay with having a short little dialogue or argument with myself, if you will, to be able to start challenging thoughts. So since I've been doing it and practicing it for a while now, I've gotten quite good at it. But to begin with, it took me longer than I felt like it should. So the first thing before we even get into it is I want to say, be patient with yourself. This is something new that you're trying to teach yourself how to do. This is something new that you're teaching your body how to react to. This is something new that you're teaching your mind how to react to. So you don't want to get ahead of yourself and get down on yourself to continue a negative pattern of thinking. You just want to give yourself some grace and realize that it probably didn't take, just an hour or just a day for you to start developing these patterns of thinking. So it's going to take you some time to be able to counter those thoughts and patterns of thinking. So that was the first big thing for me. So I want you to keep that in mind for the rest of the day. One of my main coping skills is, like I said, basically an internal dialogue. Basically what happens is when I first notice a negative thought, I immediately challenge it. And I go ahead and I start mentally processing it. Now, for me, this used to take a lot of time and effort. Like I said, I've been practicing it for a while, so now it's something that I can do without a whole lot of concentration. It's something that I can do while I'm doing other things. It's something that I can actually do pretty quick now. And basically, the best tip that my therapist could give me was the negative thought pattern. One, I need to ask myself if there's evidence for the thing that I'm thinking to be negative. Now, the best thing that my therapist could have told me was that my mind is automatically going to give me proof of the negative thought. So I'm going to have to be able to give counter thought. You know what I'm saying? So basically, if the first thing that comes to my mind is I'm ugly, and then I ask myself, is there proof of that? And then I go look in the mirror based on my perception of myself in that moment, I'll probably say, yes, I see ugly. But what's a counter statement to that? Like, okay, you have really nice eyes. You see what I'm saying? So if I have nice eyes, that can automatically tell me that there's something about me that's not ugly. So that's one of the best introductory tips, I guess I would say, that I had for learning how to be able to stop those negative thoughts, is to be able to be okay with having that dialogue with myself. I know that mental health can be something that is so stigmatized sometimes, and we can think that, oh, you talk to yourself, you're crazy, blah, 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 whoop, whoop. But no, you need to have an internal dialogue with yourself, because inside of your mind, there's nobody else there to run through those plays with you. Inside your head, it's only you and your head. So y'all have to be able to wrap it up with one another and be like, hey, this is what you're thinking, this is how I'm feeling, what's what? So you can be able to process things mentally. So yeah, that's the first thing that I do. The second thing is compartmentalizing my thoughts. I brain dump. So brain dumping, I typically spend about 10 or 15 minutes a day, and all of my thoughts, all of my ideas, all of the things that I feel like I'm telling myself or trying to remind myself to do, or telling myself that I need to do throughout the day, I spend 15 minutes bright and early in the morning to get all of those thoughts out. That way I'm able to properly see what it is that I actually need to focus my time and my mental space on at the moment. Because for me, I'm a creative, so I can get so overwhelmed with my thoughts, and I can start thinking of things, and then I can automatically see these big visions, and I want to start running, and there's so much going on that it's an overload, and I stand still. So instead of standing still, what I do is I specifically take time every morning to brain dump. That note section that's on my computer is specifically designed for brain dumping, and then that way I can go back, I can read everything, I can check over it and see, okay, is this what it is that I need to be doing right now? If it is, then I go ahead and transfer it over to my calendar and get some things organized for it. If it's not, then I just keep it over there until it's time for me to revisit it, or maybe not. But I've gotten it out of just taking up mental headspace, and now it has its own place to be. The second technique that I use is basically visualization techniques. So for me, I do pray and I meditate on a daily basis. I tend to do these things. I probably don't meditate multiple times a day, but I do pray multiple times a day. However, I do dedicate 10 to 15 minutes every single morning to meditate. There's space there in the evening if I feel like I need to do it multiple times throughout the day, but typically once is enough. And for me, just being able to, the art of meditation has taught me how to just be able to quiet my mind and allow myself to just be for a moment. It's allowed me to be able to just take note of my body, to be able to take note of the types of thoughts that I'm having, and to be able to reject thinking about those thoughts for that specific amount of time. It's an allotted amount of time to where I can just create this space in my head that I can go to just sit and be with myself for about 10 or 15 minutes out of the day. And that actually makes a great improvement. Visualization techniques can be very helpful for a lot of different reasons, because we like to see things, right? So if you can learn how to use your imagination to be able to see those different things, then you can automatically learn how to be able to maneuver towards those things through your behavior. I have no idea where I was, what I was talking about, nothing. Y'all, I just knew this bird was fixing to like fly on my head or something like that. But anyway, so the third thing. So the third thing that I do for myself to try to help overcome my anxiety and my depression is I actually read. If I spend the time that I would spend in my head in a book instead, then I'm able to be productive with my thoughts. So for me, I can always learn something from reading, whether I'm learning new words, or even if I'm reading a book, I might learn how other authors structure their book, and I'm being taught how to become a better author myself, or just the information from the book in general. Regardless, I'm able to preoccupy my mind with productive thoughts rather than allowing myself to just spiral out of control. So whether I feel like I need a fiction book to just give me an escape from my own reality at the moment, or I feel like I need a nonfiction book because I want to learn new information, either way, I'm constantly reading things so that I can give myself that outlet, so I'm not just stuck with my thoughts. Because somehow, some kind of way, I feel like I never have time for anything else, but I have time to just run rampant with my thoughts in my head. So clearly, if I have time to spend all that time with all those thoughts in my head, then I have time to open a book or something. So that's okay. The last tip or thing that I do to try to help myself overcome my depression and anxiety is I push myself. That same internal dialogue that I was talking about at the beginning is the same internal dialogue that I use to consistently push myself. I'm always checking in with myself to be like, okay, what are you doing? Are you making progress towards your goals? Are you stagnant? Are you not doing anything? And that the task list that I create every morning, so when I sit down and I write my to-do list out every day, that's a way that I help myself that's a way that I continue to push myself, because in me writing that task list out, that's something that I know these are things that I must get done today. So no matter what, these are tasks that I can get done today. And I keep myself in mind when I make the tasks. So if I'm not feeling the best that day, I don't overload my schedule with things that I feel like I can do because I don't feel like I can do them. So based on that mentality in the morning, I go ahead and I push myself as best as I can throughout the day. So if negative thoughts start to come up, or I start to feel self-judgment, then I look at my task list. I see how much I've got accomplished, and I see how much more where I'm going to be in a couple of hours to be able to determine, am I actually pushing myself? Because if I'm sitting here thinking about the fact that I don't have enough time, but I'm really just spending 15 minutes laying on my couch thinking about how I don't have enough time, well, I just wasted 15 minutes. So I try to, as best as I can, stop those negative thoughts. And if I can't stop them, I try my best to go ahead and push past them. If I can't stop my anxiousness, I try to go ahead and push past it the best that I can. If you guys have any tips, tricks, anything that you have done or that has helped you to be able to maybe not necessarily overcome, but even just be able to effectively manage depression or anxiety symptoms, let us know in the comments. Share with us. I'm always looking at the different things, because this is only a few, y'all. There are so many more that are out there. There are so many more that I have used, and we will slowly but surely try to work through some of those things. But yeah, let us know in the comments. If you made it this far, friend, I'm so glad that you stayed to the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are growing, and I am excited about it. So yeah, please leave any feedback. What do you guys want to hear more of? What are you looking for when you're looking for me? What do you want to hear? What do you want to see my experience on? Let me know in the comments, friend. Hope you are having a great day and you will have a productive week. Have a good day.